welcome back to another Petroglyphs in the Sky, the Phoenix Lights UFO show. How is everybody doing today? We have got a great show for you tonight. We are working with a new microphone, so if it starts to give out or starts to go away, please let me know. Test, test, test. I can't tell if it's working or not. Let's check this out real quick. Okay. All right, looks like we're good. All right, we got a great show for you tonight. How you guys doing? My name is Jeff WOOLWINE. I am a born and raised Phoenix, Arizona native. Been born and raised there. Been seeing UFOs ever since I was a kid. That's what made me go on a hunt, on a quest to find out exactly what is going on in our skies. Glad you guys are here tonight. Many, many years of research has gone into these Phoenix Lights research and the history of Phoenix. And oh my God, do we have a great show for you tonight. We're going to talk about petroglyphs, going to show some UFOs. I was out there by the Superstition Mountains last week, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, what I saw out there and recorded. It was pretty cool. And so yeah, let's get this show on the road. All right, so without further ado, let's talk about some stuff. Okay, so the complete book is out. Many, many years in the making on this, folks. The Phoenix Lights, Petroglyphs in the Sky, cover up history of Phoenix, Arizona. This is like 15 years of research into the Phoenix Lights, into South Mountain petroglyphs. The real history of Phoenix that hasn't been talked about in 80 years. There's a major cover-up going on here. And you can find all of this information, color photographs, tons of petroglyph photographs and locations on where to see these UFOs, that I've tracked these UFOs over, a 23 now year period, maybe longer than that. I don't know. I've been doing this for a very long time. It's hard to keep track now. Been following these Phoenix Lights and these UFOs in the skies for many years now, ever since 2004. You know, I've been seeing them everywhere I went. That's why I had to go find out what was going on, because I kept seeing them, right? And so I had to find out what was going on for my own self. Didn't take the advice and word from other people. Had to go out and just exactly, I had to make sure I knew what was here, not just hearsay, but I needed proof. And I believe I found it. I found a lot of evidence on the cover-up history of Phoenix that coincides on what the Phoenix Lights really is. And it's going to blow your mind on what these things really are. The Phoenix Lights, Petroglyphs in the Sky, Volume 1, Volume 2. Check it out. Check it out on Kindle, Amazon Kindle. So all you have to do is search my name, Jeff WOOLWINE, on Amazon Kindle, and these two blue books will come up, Volume 1, Volume 2. And they're only $3, folks. I mean, what better way? I mean, it's not like $1 million or something to find out what's going on in Phoenix. It's only $3, man. You can't beat that. So $3 to find out all the history and the cover-ups of Phoenix, all the evidence that I discovered on South Mountain. Not only hiking the mountains and finding the petroglyphs on the rocks there, but also going to the downtown Phoenix Library, looking in the government files, finding out everything about South Mountain. Everything is in this book, man. Can't go wrong. $3, Amazon Kindle. Go out and get your copy today. Let me know what you think. This is the unedited version. We have 3 books out there, actually. We have the Phoenix Lights, Petroglyphs in the Sky, Landscape for the Spirits, True Stories, Myths, Legends, and UFOs all over Phoenix. That is only the story. That's what the publishers decided to do. So this book is huge, right? The book is huge. The publishers got lazy, and they didn't want to put everything in there. They only wanted to do the story and the movie that I wrote. And they didn't put in how I came to this conclusion. So it took me years to get everything together. And so, yeah, we have the story out, the Phoenix Lights, Petroglyphs in the Sky, Landscape for the Spirits, And now we have their complete book, Volume 1, Volume 2, The Cover-Up History of Phoenix, Arizona. Go out there and get all 3 books. You guys aren't going to be sorry. It's great information. And yeah, man, if you want to find out exactly what's going on here, not from hearsay, but from someone who's actually been out there in the field, watched these UFOs come and go from South Mountain, discovered their pattern, find out what happened to the Hohokam Indians, because, right, we don't know what happened to them. They were here for 1,000 years, folks, and all of a sudden they disappeared. Where'd they go? All of this information is in this little tiny book right here on the bottom of your corner. Let's blow it up. Phoenix Lights, Petroglyphs in the Sky, The Cover-Up History of Phoenix, Arizona, by yours truly, Jeff WOOLWINE. Get your copy today. It's only $3 for all this great information. Check it out, check it out, check it out. All right, so if you guys are into the paranormal, you guys like ghost hunting and stuff like that, check out our other channel on YouTube. It's called Haunted Encounter Adventures. My wife and I, we like going out and filming ghosts and talking to ghosts, and if you're into that paranormal stuff, hit us up, man. Haunted Encounter Adventures. Check us out on Facebook also, and become a member. You know, subscribe to our channel. Hit us up on YouTube. Lots of great ghost stories and videos and all kinds of stuff. Hope you enjoyed that one. Okay, let's get into it. So, take a drink before we start this. I don't know if you've heard or not, but the government has come out and explained what these UFOs are. Finally, right? They finally came out and told us what these things are. Remember, because they're all, this last year or two, you know, everyone's seeing UFOs. The fighter pilots are seeing UFOs, you know, so now they're going to get down to the bottom of it. So now we have what their conclusions are. And can you guess? What is it? Many military UFO reports are just foreign, spying, or airborne trash. Did you see this coming, you guys? October 28, 2022. Many military UFO reports are just foreign spying or airborne trash. That's their official government. That's their official government. That's their official story. Right? That's what they're telling. That again, I mean, I told you, they will never come out and tell us what the hell's going on. This is on, we found this on Yahoo News. Government officials believe surveillance operations by foreign powers and weather balloons or other airborne clutter explain most recent incidents of unidentified aerial phenomenon. Government speaks for UFOs as well as many episodes in the past. Okay, well, I told you, folks, they are never going to talk about these things. They will never come clean on what's here. You know why? Those of you who have been following me all these years know the reasons why they will never disclose what's really here. And why is that? It's because of their past. When you look into these UFO history, the true history of these UAPs, if you want to call them UFOs, aerial phenomenon, objects, whatever you want to call them, UFOs. When you look into their history, you'll find out that their history isn't a very good one. And so, yeah, everyone's seen them. We all know that there's something here. And so does, you know, the government. They know what's up. I mean, those of you who have bought my book, I show you the black helicopters. I show you the white airplanes that are hanging around South Mountain watching for these UFOs come and go from that area out there. Pick up the book, man. All the photographs, all the evidence is in that book. Covered Up History of Phoenix, Arizona. Many military UFO reports are just foreign spying or airborne trash. First they're going to tell us, oh, wait, the aliens or crafts is technology, right? Because that's what we can understand. That's what we can relate to is technology, not you know, what we're really seeing here. And I believe what we're seeing here is not crafts. Crafts are cool. I'm not saying crafts don't exist, because I've seen some things in the sky that could resemble a craft, could resemble a spaceship. Well, I've seen flying triangles. I've seen other objects in the sky that could resemble a spaceship. But what I'm trying to say here is I believe I've discovered something a little bit different here. And I discovered this in 2005 when I was sitting by the mountain in Phoenix for 3 years. And I watched these airborne objects drop from the sky and proceed to go inside South Mountain. Yes, I said inside South Mountain. Yes, they're going into the mountain, going into that fault line, into that energy. That's what it's all about, people. It's the energy that these fault lines or ley lines or energy lines around the world, these things are attracted to these energy spots. And it's a pattern. Some people go up to the mountain. Oh, I haven't seen any UFOs on South Mountain, dude. Well, you know what? There's a pattern to it. You just can't go up there and expect to see one that first day. There's a pattern to it. You can find out this pattern in my book. Foreign spies and trash, people. That's what you all are seeing. Well, I'm glad we cleared that up. At least we know now what it is. It's trash. It's people spying on us. I'm glad we cleared that up. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, let's take a look at this. Can anyone in the audience tonight tell me what this is? Examine this closely here. Anyone in the audience can tell me what this is? What is this object that's someone has recorded in the sky? What is this? Anyone? Anyone? Those of you who have been watching my past shows should know this. What is it? It's blinking. That's the dead giveaway. First clue, it's blinking. Second clue. Is there a pattern there? See the pattern? Anyone? Anyone? Voodoo economics? No, I'm kidding. Can you tell me what this object is? Anyone? A drone? Good guess, Doug. Very good. It's blinking. You know it's man-made. It's blinking in a pattern. It's a pattern. See, guys? See that pattern there? Yes, this is an airplane. This is not a UFO. This is not a UAP. This is man-made. How can we tell? Anyone? Anyone? Voodoo economics. No. Bueller? Airplanes, people, flying around with these blinking in a pattern, repetitious lights. So many people are filming these objects. Oh, it's a UFO. They're filming planets. They're filming airplanes, okay? UFO 101. If you want to go out and be a professional sky watcher, if you want to make sure that you know what you're filming, and you want to make sure that before you present it to the public, you want to make sure that this is a real UFO. The first thing you want to do when you want to be a professional sky watcher or someone who wants to be looked at as credible, you must understand what normal objects are in the skies. Drones, airplanes, trash, balloons, flares, whatever it is. Birds, bugs, trash flying by the camera at supersonic speeds, and then you got to slow it down. Oh my God, that's a UFO because I slowed it down and there it is. No. Oh my God, it's just, this stuff has just been getting crazy out of hand over the last 20 years, man. I'm watching these people, and they just think anything and everything is a UFO. We can't do that, man. In order to get our story out, we must be able to identify the unidentifiable, right? Then how do you do that? First, you understand what airplanes are, what airplanes flash in the sky, what balloons look like in the sky, what flares and trash and bugs. You have to understand what's normal. So when you do see something that's not normal, then you can really say, and then you can legitimately say, yes, that is a UFO, that is a UAP. This is not acting like a balloon, because why? I film balloons. I've seen balloons in the sky. I go back and I look at the tape, and I see the way the balloon flies in the sky. I see the string. I see the knot flipping around. I see it's going with the wind and not against the wind. I see how this paper is moving. I see how this airplane with this huge headlight is coming at me. And because the airplane is coming at me with this bright light, it looks like it's just sitting in the sky, but actually it's coming towards me. So it looks like it's just sitting there, not moving, but in fact, it's really an airport on its way to land at the airport. Airplane ready to land at the airport. Did I get it backwards? So we must understand all this stuff, okay? We have to understand what's normal before we try to unidentify the abnormal. Did I say that right? I don't know. Okay, it's blinking. It's an airplane. Airplane, airplane, airplane. Let's remember that. So if you see a blinking light, and it's blinking repetitiously in a pattern, it's an airplane, man. It's an airplane. Those of you who are in Florida, I don't know if you guys saw this object or not. This is pretty cool, flying around in the sky. Did you guys see this yet? Did you guys see this? What is this? Can you believe that? What is that? Anyone? Anyone? People in the audience? Yeah. Anyone? What is flying around Florida, people? What is that? People in the live audience, talk to me. A tent! Yes! It's a tent! Flying around in Florida. I'm glad we got that on tape. It's a tent. Yes, a wind picked up a tent and blew it away in the sky, and now someone has filmed it. Okay, I had to show that. I thought that was kind of funny. A tent flying around in Florida. And see, how do we know that? How do we know it's a tent? Because we've seen tents before, right? So we know. We know this is a tent flying in the sky. Okay? So and this is my point, is so we must identify what we can already know, what we can already identify, to try to identify the unexplained, right? We have to know what we're looking at, and we know we're looking at a tent, right? So when you start filming balloons, or you start filming stars, or airplanes, or flares, or trash, or bugs flying across the screen, you know what it is. It's not a UFO, it's not a rod, it's not a UAP, it's not an alien, right? Because we've seen it before. Alrighty then, let's move on. What is this? What's this? This is really cool. This was filmed in New York recently, I believe. This is pretty neat here. We're going to talk about this one. This is a cool video someone sent me. So we want to look. This is one of the New York bridges out here, Manhattan, I believe. So we want to look back in here. Okay, let's study this real quick. Let's get this video going. Here we go. Look at this. Now watch how these lights operate, like move or appear in the sky. Let's move the video over. Okay. Come on, arrow. Now look at that. Did you see what happened right there? Let's back this up. Let's take a look at this again here. So here we have two lights there, right? Now look, there's kind of one that's coming in over there, right? Look, that one disappeared, right? Now look at this over here. See that? See how it just kind of came in? Now, look at this over here. You see that blinking light there? That is an airplane. To the right there, right over here, that is an airplane because it's blinking. I think the person filming this understands this. That was an airplane over there. But these aren't. Look at that. See that? Isn't that interesting? That is like way cool. And the beginning is pretty neat too because it was kind of like a pyramid and then it kind of disappeared and then one appeared next to it and then I thought that was kind of cool. This was filmed in New York. Now we want to look at people walking on the crosswalks. Oh, that's always neat. But that's not what we want to look at. We want to look at these lights over here. There you go, videographer. There you go. All right, so we got two lights in the sky, and there goes an airplane. See that up there? Let's see if he shows it again. I don't know. There's the airplane over there. Right up there. It flew over the bridge. But we're looking at these lights here. Look at this. They're not blinking. They actually kind of moved away from each other, didn't they? Okay, here's the video starting over again. Isn't that neat? Thought I'd share that with you. This is a cool video. This was recently filmed out there in New York. Manhattan, I believe. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. What is this over here? This video here, I'm not sure who sent this to me and where it came from, but I thought it was really, really cool, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. This is like this is a neat one here. And this was taken by a cell phone. I usually tell people, look, try to get a video camera because video cameras are like way better. You can zoom in better. You get a good, idea of what you're looking at. Because most of the time, these cell phones, I mean, you might have a big bright light in front of your face right there, but when you start filming it on the camera, on your phone, it looks like a little dot, dude. But if this is a video camera phone, this is a really good one because it did a really good job on zooming in on this thing. And I thought I'd share it with you guys. I forget who sent this to me. Forgive me if you're watching right now. But yeah, this is cool. Look at this thing. Let's zoom this. Let's get that bigger. Look at that thing, man. This is what we want to look for, people. Look how it's moving in the sky. Look at that. It's how it's cruising. See that? Try and find it again. There it goes. Look at that. Look how fast that sucker's going. Boom. Look at that. Is that crazy? This is a pretty good video if this was taken by a cell phone. I think it was. Oh yeah, that where we can see it cruising now. Look at that. See how it's cruising? Let's try to stop it. Boop. Let's get a little bigger look at this. Look at that thing. This is what we want to look for, people. This is exactly what we want to look for. Look at that thing. Isn't that crazy? Gosh, I forget where this came from. Look how it's moving. Pretty neat video. I thought I'd share with you guys. Pretty cool. Thank you for whoever sent this to me. I love the way it's moving. Check that sucker out. It is flying, boy. It is cruising. It is just taking off. Look at that. Boom, gone. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Too cool. Okay, let's take a look at something else here. Let's look at some of these petroglyphs. Let's talk about these petroglyphs out here. So I'm not sure which one this is, but this is way cool. I thought I'd let's kind of take a look at this. All right, let's first look at the mountains, okay? Because when you look at petroglyphs, when you try to understand the rock art, you have to look at the whole landscape, because the artist is putting the landscape in with his art. He's telling you a story. He's telling you what had happened. These aren't just like graffitis or, you know. This is something important that he wants you to know, to pass on through generations upon generations. So we want to look at the background here real quick, because if you notice, these petroglyphs are kind of facing that way. See how the petroglyphs are oriented that way? And so they're pointing to these rocks, to these mountains over here. So, ooh, this is a good one. Look at this rock. Look, we got an orb there, we got an orb there, we got an orb there. Look at this line, right? So if this was balloons, right? Because a lot of everyday Joe would say, oh, that's a balloon because it's got a string. It's got a string, man. You see that? It's a string, so it's got to be a balloon. And the Native Americans were filming balloons thousands of years ago. Right? Come on. Orb, there's a line. There's another orb, right? They're connected together. It's kind of like a barbell. Here's like an orb there. You can kind of see through it, right? We've all seen these orbs in the sky, man. We know what's going on here. And so do the Native Americans. They're telling us, look, this is a prehistoric photograph. It's a prehistoric UFO sighting. Look at that. Look at this thing here. Oh, is that a spaceship? I don't believe so, but that is what a creature looks like. That's what these entities look like, right? Then we have more over here. I mean, just tons of it. Look at this. I filmed this in the sky here. I know what that little crooked line is. I mean, it doesn't look like much to some, but for those who have seen these UFOs, what these real things are, I mean, we'll pick that stuff out real quick, man. Look at it. Look at this worm here, right? Those of you who have been following me, right, have been seeing my sightings. Okay, so now we are coming down to this pattern here. Let's look at this. See those little zigzagging things here? You see that? And then we got, it's not a spiral because it's not connected together. This is not a spiral because it has no beginning, it has no end, right? So those of you who have seen the Phoenix lights or have seen lights in the sky and they're kind of pulsating, right? They're kind of like, it's like they're absorbing the energy, right? And it looks like some kind of plasma, and it's pulsating. And when it pulsates in the sky, it kind of ripples within itself, right? Because when you're looking at the lights there, and the red and orange, amber, there's like, sometimes there's a dot in the middle, and it's like a wave, right? And it's pulsating, right? And I believe the artist is trying to explain that. It's a huge light in the sky, and it's pulsating. That's why it's got these ripples around it, right? And it's right over these crooked pyramid-looking things. Now let's go back to the mountains. Okay. Let's look at the mountain real quick. Examine. Let's study the mountain again. So we have all these peaks. Whoops. Come on, Arrow, cooperate. We have all these peaks over here, right? These triangle ones. And then over here we gonna have like this flat looking hill or mountain here. So we have the peaks, right? See that? And then we have this flat looking thing over here. Okay, so let's go back and look at this over here. Let's look at this rock here. Check this out. Let's study this. So we have the peaks, right? And then we have this thing over here, right? This little hill, this flat looking hill. We have the peaks, and then we have the flat looking hill. Exactly the way these mountains over here are looking. Get it? You see where I'm going with this? See the pyramid? I have a pyramid, a pyramid, a pyramid, and then a pyramid, and then, you know, we got a pyramid, and then a flat pyramid. Right? A flat one right there. See where I'm going with this? So this is actually the mountains. These are the mountain peaks up here. And what the artist is trying to tell us is there was a huge light over these pyramid hills. And look at this. See this? This one's going into, it looks like it's going into the mountains there. See that? And look at this here. See this? This is going down into the underworld. Right here, this line represents, like, this is the upper world, and this is the lower world, the underworld, if you will. That's what this line is insinuating. This is what this line is telling us. This is a dividing line because from the real world to the underworld, I guess you want to call it, to the top world and then the underworld, right? And so they're telling us that these mountains are going down into the underworld. See that? And then we have all these creatures that are in the underworld. Look, and they want to come out. They want to come out from the underworld. And some of them are. Look how they are. Look. Ooh, and then we have the orbs. Whoops, that's the wrong one. We have these orbs. See? All this stuff. Look at that. Because they just came out of the underworld. See these orbs with these lines? Look at all this. This is a crazy, crazy... I mean, I'm sure all this didn't happen at once. I'm sure this was a record over, you know, many, many months or many years. But this is all the stuff that has been seen in the skies in this area, especially in the skies above these mountains. And then so we have the line here, right? Here's the line between the upper world and the lower world. That's what this line is representing. So all this stuff here is in the upper world, and all the stuff on the bottom of the line is the underworld, right? That's how we understand the petroglyphs. Those kind of petroglyphs anyway. This one I filmed on South Mountain. Let's take a look at this one. This one's kind of crazy. So we do have a spiral because it's ending down. See how it's all connected together? All the way in. Okay, and so what? And we learned that the spirals, when they go on clockwise, it's a doorway in. And when it's going counterclockwise, it's a doorway out. And then if the spiral ends down, there's a doorway in the ground there, or in the rock, or in that crack of the boulder, right? Because the spiral will end at that crack. And that's the emergence point. That's the entrance to the underworld. Or, on a scientific analysis, on a scientific understanding, they're going down into that fault line, going down into that energy. So this spiral is ending down. It's going clockwise. So it's a doorway in. And then we have this creature. Look at this. It looks like some kind of worm-looking thing, right? It looks like an inchworm. I mean, there's the head. There's the two eyes. There's its legs, right? These aren't spaceships we're dealing with, people. These are not crafts. Crafts are good. Crafts are fine. I believe in them also. But I think what the majority of the public are seeing are living creatures, living entities. These orbs and lights and crooked snakes and all this other crap we see in the sky, that stuff is alive. You see 5 lights out there? You're looking at 5 living entities, 5 living beings. They're conscious. They know who's watching. They know who's not watching. This is how they've been getting away with being in our skies without a lot of people paying attention. And that's what's going on in South Mountain. If you only paid attention, give it a year. I challenge you. Go out there and live on the east side of South Mountain like I did. I did it for 3 years. I saw a lot of stuff, man. I documented everything. Everything is in my book. You can pick up my book today. You don't even need an app. You can just go to Kindle and search my name. There's the books, $3. It's cheap. $3 for 15 years of research and information and sky watching and hiking. And I mean, you can't beat it, dude. It's only $3, right? For information to find out what's really going on here. And I learned that, you know, this is different. And when I was doing the pilot for the UFO Hunter show, it was all good and gravy, right? And then, because I'm trying to explain to them, look, this isn't spaceships, man. These are living creatures. These are living entities. You know, Quetzalcoatl, he's alive and well and flying around Phoenix, man. I filmed him so many times. You know, this legends of these spirits, it's not legends at all. These things are real. It's happening today, and it continues. It has been for generations. For thousands of years, this has been going on. It's a pattern, especially at South Mountain. I accidentally uncovered that, spending so many years there and so much time and hiking and dedication. I learned that there was a pattern to these entities and when they were going to be there. That's why some people are saying, well, I was up there, but I didn't see anything. Well, what month did you go? What time did you go? Right? What season was it? Right? Because they follow the seasons. They track the sun. It's a pattern. And it's not crafts. It's not technology. And that's the reason why the government will never come clean and tell you what these things are. Because it's easy to say that they're technology and from another planet. We can accept that. We understand that. We know what technology is, right? We understand that. But when it comes down to another species of life that has a capability to absorb themselves into matter, living rock, right? And can change themselves, right? Because that's what the Native Americans have been telling us all these years, that these things are shape-shifting. They're shape-shifting beings. And they do. They shape-shift. They change color. They fly. They're real. They're alive. They're conscious. They're smart. And when you look at the history of these beings, when they talk, it'll blow your eardrums out. Look at the history. Examine the history of these things. Look what happened to the people who were misled in the beginning by these creatures. Look what happened to them. Look at the Hohokam Indians. Hohokam is a Pima name for the people who are gone, the people who got taken away, the people who are missing. Because we don't know what happened to these people. They were here for 1,000 years, and then all of a sudden the next day they were gone. But yet the archaeologist wants us to tell us, well, they simply migrated somewhere else because of drought. That's all fine and gravy if we can find out where they went to. We don't know where they went. They were here, and then they were gone. And what about all these other tribes around the world that the exact same thing happened to them at the exact same time? So what are you telling me? All these tribes at that time who don't know each other, who don't have cell phones or computers to talk to each other, decided that it was time to go at the same day and disappear from Earth and without a trace on the same day? How's that possible? But yet the archaeologists around the world want you to believe this. That all these tribes were here and they conquered. They were great people at their time, in their era, and then all of a sudden they just decided to go away and leave? I mean, when you and I move, we take our belongings with us. But the Hohokams didn't. They left all their stuff there and simply took off. Why would you do that? Why would you leave your belongings behind and go somewhere else? That's what the archaeologist wants to blow up everybody's butts. And the sad thing of it is nobody's questioning these people. No one's questioning, all these things that's going on. They're just taking it for face value and just say, well, that's really what it must be. A spaceship flew over the city of Phoenix March 13th, 1997. Why? Because somebody told me that. I didn't see it. I didn't examine it. I didn't look into it. But someone is trying to feed me this to sell movies, to sell books at Harkins every year. And they prey on this. But when you do your studies, and it's been over 20 years, and you can't find one shred of evidence of anything flying over the Phoenix March 13th, 1997, where's the credibility in that? You can't do that. If you're gonna come up with a fantastic claim like that, you must be able to back it up. I can't believe how long this has been going on, and no one has questioned this. All right, I have seriously looked into this. All right, in the last 15, I'm still looking into it. It's been 23 years, man. There's not one evidence, anything. It's just a lot of hearsay and people trying to get on the news and people trying to sell movies and books and blah blah. But what about the history? What about the Hohokam Indians? What about the Petroglyphs up there? What about the real history of Phoenix? And again, another person, an archaeologist person, is trying to tell you that these people were masters of the canal system, and they were peace-loving people and never went to war with anybody. They were masters of the canals, and they lived in this valley for over 1,000 years, and then all of a sudden they decided to leave? Because someone that we trust is telling us that this is correct. And they try to block the truth away from people. They hide this information away from people by telling you, don't go off the trails. I'm making this mountain a government park, so you can't go over there and find out what's there. I mean, they make it hard. They go over there and they blow up petroglyphs so you can't understand the story. All that's happening right under our nose, and people are just going along with it. But the more and more you look into the history of what these UFOs are, what these things are, and the history of Phoenix, of who the Hohokam people really were, and what happened to them, they'll never come out. They will never come out and tell you what's going on because of the prehistoric photographs. Look at this, man. This is some kind of creature coming out or going into this doorway. This is on South Mountain. I filmed the exact same creature. Okay, let's move on. We got a lot to cover. All right. Oh yeah. So and stuff like this. Come on now. Don't get taken in by BS. Okay? Don't get fooled into these. There's so much fake rock art out there, man. It just makes me sick. And people, they just eat this stuff right up and they think it's, gold when it's clearly fake. And they pass this stuff off. And to any trained archaeologist, man, will tell you this is fake. There's so many warning signs out there. I mean, look at everything about it is just screaming hoax. Okay? And, it just amazes me on just how some people are just taken in by that, and I just can't understand it. Okay, so what do we got going on over here? All right, so let's look at this petroglyph here. Okay, this is interesting. This guy, let that guy look at that. Okay. Look at the orbs here. You see these orbs with the dots? Wasn't I just talking about that? Sometimes, we can see the lights and it has a dot in the middle. And it's got these lines, right? Not strings. It's got these lines coming at it, right? And now it's kind of hooked up to this thing over here, right? Now let's look at some of the stuff that I was filming in Phoenix. Let's look at this one for a minute. I filmed this in Phoenix. Actually, Glendale, right outside of Phoenix. Let's take a look at this. Where's my arrow? Okay. Where's my arrow? I just cover up my arrow again. Okay. All right, so let's look at this. It looks like he's sitting on a triangle, right? It looks like some kind of creature. Look how it moves. See how this thing is moving? Look at that. Okay. Now, can you see these little bubbles here? See those little round circular things? See how it's changing shape? Look. See how it's got these like little circles? Just like what we see over here. So you got to remember, the Hohokam people, they didn't have video cameras back then. They had stone boulders in places where the event took place at. See that? So all these strange markings, all these strange designs, especially stuff like this, is what they saw in the sky. It's a prehistoric photograph. And now we have the video. Look at that. See that? See the bubble? See those circles? Look how it's changing. See that? Look how it's moving. Okay? And it's going right over my apartment complex. So when we see stuff like this, and then we go look at stuff that the Native Americans were carving, I mean, we can get an idea on what they were seeing in the skies. See that? This is what we're dealing with. This is why they will never tell you what's here, is because, I mean, like I was trying to explain to somebody the other night. If the government came out and actually told you, hey, there are flying serpents coming and going from South Mountain, isn't that great? Yay! I mean, how many people would actually stay in that valley, right? If they actually knew that these creatures was the leading cause of what happened to not only the Holocom, but all these other tribes that disappeared at the same time with no trace on where they went to, but yet they left these carvings, right? And they're telling us what happened to them, and they're telling us what they saw in the sky. They're telling us everything that they were drawing here. You know, they didn't have writing books or anything, so they drew, right? You know, what they saw, and this is what they saw, and they treated these things as gods, and it actually led to their downfall because these things were responsible for the Holocom people and other tribes around the world disappearance. These things took these people away. You can find out all this information in my book on how I came to that. Okay, let's move on to another one. Now here's a photograph. I couldn't get my video going. I didn't have enough time. I don't know what happened. It got corrupted or something. I don't know, as I was trying to put the video in. So I did a photograph. And here we can see this little guy here. He actually landed on South Mountain. He landed on South Mountain, and then he went inside South Mountain. Okay? And so we have legs, and we have this dot in the middle. See the circle? The circle, and then the dot in the middle, right? And then now he's got legs, right? And so if we would tip this picture upside down, I don't know if I can or not. Let's see. See if I can flip it around. Okay. Kinda. You see where I'm going with this? So I don't know what direction this petroglyph was actually, facing. I don't know if it was facing towards the east, towards the west. I don't know because, all this person did was take a photograph of this petroglyph, and you have to take a photograph of the whole landscape to understand what he's talking about. Is there spirals on this rock? Are there mountain ranges in the back? Is there more petroglyphs around? So he just took a photograph of this. But this is basically what it's talking about. We have the circle and then the dot, circle and the dot. We got some legs here, and now he's growing into this, or is this mountain peaks, right? Because we don't know, because whoever took this didn't film the background. So this actually could be mountains. This actually could be peaks. We don't know. I mean, maybe this could be the way the petroglyph was meant to be looked at, was the way we're looking at it now. And it could be that these are mountains, and these entities are going into this energy, into the mountains. This is why we need to see the whole everything to understand what's going on. Okay. Now that we got that, I got one more. Here it is. What's this one? Oh yeah. Okay, so this one is crazy. All right. I want to talk about this one here. I filmed this in May of 2005. Okay, so let me tell you the story on this. All right. So It's funny too because that picture I showed you with the red dot and the three legs, that last picture that I just was just talking about, that actually came down on the mountain, right? And as it did, it changed shape. First it looked like an egg with an eyeball and these black legs, right? And then it was changing shape. I wanted to show that in the video, but I couldn't get it up in time. So those of you who have seen this video know what I'm talking about. So the egg-looking thing comes out of the sky, comes down down on the mountain, in front of the mountain, and then it goes vertical. It goes cruising below the mountain line, and it goes through some trees. And when it does, it changes shape, right? It kind of looks like this, all right? It changes shape. It's red and black, and it's cruising. It's cruising this way, and it disappears behind some trees. I don't know where it went. A couple days later, right? I'm watching the mountain. I live about a mile away on the east side of South Mountain on Southern Road. 40th Street and Southern is where I filmed this UFO and many others around South Mountain. I'm living on 40th Street and Southern. About a mile and a half away from South Mountain. And so I'm watching the mountain, and then all of a sudden that thing comes out of the mountain. It raises out of the mountain, and it's huge. It's red and black, and it's got these legs. It's coming up out of the mountain, like this slow. And I'm looking at it, and I know it sees me. I can feel it. I know, because that's what I'm doing. I'm watching for them, and they know this. They know I'm looking for them, and sometimes it got so crazy when I'm watching these things that some of them would get jealous. There would be a white orb there, and then this other orb would fly over and say, "Look at me, right?" So they know I'm watching them, man. They know I'm there. Those of you who have been following me know that I followed these lights to this mountain, to this sacred mountain. I followed the lights to this mountain, and now I'm sitting at the mountain, and I see this creature going this slow out of the mountain. He gets so high, and all of a sudden, boom, he shoots at me, okay? And the whole time, right, I'm getting the camera. I'm seeing him raise up out of the mountain this slow. He's just coming up out of the mountain this slow, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh my God, he's huge. And so I jump on the camera. 1, 2, 3 for the camera to warm up, right? 3 seconds for the camera to get ready. And as soon as it did, boom, this thing shot at me. And now it's coming straight at me. And it's got all these colors, and it's sparking. It's sparking colors at me. It's flying right at me. And it's shooting these colors at me. And at the time, I mostly like to use my viewfinder, but I didn't have time to get the viewfinder going. It all happened so quick. I only had time to turn on that camera and open up the side window, right, of the camera. This is a high 8 video camera. This is in 2005. So technology and HD and quality wasn't available at that time. I mean, it was, but I didn't have that kind of money, right? So I'm dealing with a high 8 video camera. That's all I could afford, right? And as this thing is shooting at me, he's throwing these colored sparks at me. It's like a sparkler in the sky. It's a color sparkling thing. It's flying at me. I'm filming it. I'm down here because I didn't have the camera at eye level. It was kind of down at waist level, all right? And so I'm looking down at the camera, trying to keep up with this thing. And I look up, and oh my God, it's sparkling. But I look at the camera, and the camera's not picking up the sparks. It's just picking up the changing of the colors. It's so weird. And it's colors, man. And this is what the camera got. This is what the camera filmed. Now this thing is shooting at me in sparks. And it's changing shape. Look at that. It's coming right at me. I'm having trouble keeping up with it because I'm looking down, I'm like, oh my God. And then it flies right over my apartment window. That was my apartment window sill right there. So let's take a look at this again. So this is sparks. This is shooting sparks. Let's stop it. Boom. Thank you, Doug. Look at that. Look. You can see the color in this. See that? And then it changes shape. Look at that now. It looks like it. See the circle with the eyeball? See the circle, the orb, and then a dot in the middle? See that? Now you can barely see. Let me see if I can zoom in on this more. Oh, that's the wrong one, damn it. You can barely see the sparks on this. Let's zoom this in all the way. Let's try to get this all the way here. You can kind of see the sparks. You see this? You can barely see it. This thing is sparking in the sky, man. All right? Look at that. See how it's changing shape? Look. Look at that. You can kind of see the sparks on the outlines here. You can kind of see it. But to the naked eye, man, it's a 4th of July in the daytime. It's a colored sparkler, right? And then look at that. And then it is whoops, as it starts to get closer. Look at that. See that? So let's look at we see like the bubbles, and then we have these kind of bubble orbs over here. See that? See the connection I'm trying to do here? See what I'm talking about? Look at that. You can really see now. It kind of looks like a monster now. I mean, because that damn thing's looking at me. You can see its eyes, right? Look at that. Look at its eyes. It's looking right at me, dude. Okay? This is what we're dealing with. This is scary stuff. I've seen and witnessed some scary stuff on South Mountain. And when I was doing the UFO Hunter show in 2007, they're telling me, they're like, dude, you're filming some bizarre stuff. The public is not ready for this. If you're going to talk about these things, you must say crafts. Can't go saying living entities. Can't go saying fallen angels or spirit beings or living creatures or any of that stuff, because it'll go right over the public's head. They don't understand this, because for all these years we've been brainwashed into something else. This is why we're missing what's really here. we see these things, we automatically assume it's a balloon. We automatically assume that it's a flare, right? Because that's what they're telling us. But we're not using common sense here. If you use common sense, you'll clearly understand that this is something completely different. Look, and it flies right over my windowsill. Crazy stuff, crazy stuff. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Because that's what happened, man. And I got the video to prove it, you know? It's just, I'm just really sad that, I mean, it didn't record the sparks, because that thing was shooting sparks at me, man. It was crazy. All right. So, the other day, last week, we're driving next to the Superstition Mountains. Okay, and this is the side of it. We're on the never eat. We're on like the south side of it. Okay, so Phoenix is over here, right? It's facing this area here is facing Phoenix. And let's get another picture of the Superstition. Here's a real pretty one of it when it's got snow on it. Look at that. Isn't that really cool? And so we want to concentrate on this area here. Right here. This one? Yeah, this one. Not that one. This one. So it's right after sunset, right? And I know there's no cars up there, right? There's no way to get a car up there. Okay? Because this is a peak I want you to look at right in here. Okay? And so I was looking at the mountain, and I saw this light here. Let's go ahead and play this. Let's go ahead and zoom in. You can see the mountain range. Where's my arrow? Oh shoot, where's my arrow? Let me find my arrow. I lost my arrow. But you can see this light happening. Where's my arrow? Where's my arrow? There's my arrow. Right here is that peak. Right there. You see that light? See that? That is on the mountain. And in this video, you can see the mountain. It's, you know, just light enough. It's not completely dark yet, but it's just light enough to see that there's a light going on there. And it's going on right here. That light is right here. That's where this light is happening at. See that? This is the kind of stuff we want to look for. I was filming the exact same type of lights right after sunset on South Mountain. And they were kind of like bluish. They were like bluish green type lights. And they would come out of the mountain, and then they would go across the mountain, and then they would disappear into the mountain. Exactly what this thing is doing. Sometimes I saw like 2 of them out there at one time, but my camcorder didn't film it. Couldn't get it. Isn't that crazy? And you can see the outline of the mountain, so you know that it's on the mountain. You can barely see the outline. And it's going on right here at that peak. Right there is where is it? That's right there. Isn't that cool? Way cool. So this is the kind of stuff that you want to look for. And when you guys see it, see anything like that, let me know. Send me the video. I would love to talk about it and show it in the show. Okay, do we have anything else? It looks like we are done. Okay, so make sure that you go out and you pick up your $3 copy. It's only $3. The Phoenix Lights, Volume 1, Volume 2, the cover-up history of Phoenix, Arizona. Check it out on Amazon, Kindle. And we will conclude this show, wrap it up, and we will say goodbye. And thank you guys all for watching. And let's see what's going on here. Are we stuck? We're stuck. Testing. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Make sure you check out the Phoenix Lights Covered Up History of Phoenix, Arizona on Amazon Kindle. All right. Thank you guys. Bye-bye. Take it.